Hey, Angie, thanks for doing this earlier. I really appreciate that
Hey,
because it
no
kind of,
problem. I had surgery yesterday, so I'm just chilling with pain meds and working on health board stuff for shows.
right on. What do you take with the pain meds to make it psychedelic? You drink
I
some
just,
wine there, you
I'm
do
drinking
nothing.
hard stuff. I have Mountain Dew today.
Oh, the hard Mountain Dew?
I wish.
Probably don't want to mix any of that,
Yeah,
actually, huh?
I'm not going to mix
Good.
the Percocet with anything. I feel like since I went for testing on my stomach, alcohol probably wouldn't be the
Nope.
best thing.
Nope. I can't imagine. I try to have humor, and then I remember sometimes their situation. And I'm like, you know what, Kyle? You probably shouldn't joke with somebody that would like to drink about not being able to drink.
I mean, I'm not a big drink. I'll be honest with you. I like drinking any alcohol that doesn't taste like alcohol.
Oh, right on. A girly drinker.
Yeah, I'm like a tough broad, but not when it comes to drinks.
I ain't holding nothing against you. Yeah, that don't bother me none. I'm not much one myself as far as a drinker anymore. There is a time, it was my challenge, my thing to do in life.
Right,
But
right. Like I was all about it when we had, wine coolers and Mad Dog 2020. Like I was cool.
uh, Mad Dog. Oh,
I'm old.
oh, I remember it, but that was a vomit in a bottle, pretty much. You're just waiting to happen.
Yeah,
That
but
was a
you listen,
hangover in a
and it
bottle.
did. It did. And then I was like, why do I drink this just to have a headache? I'm like, because I'm cool.
Uh, Somehow the name made it sound cool. Mad
It
Dog. I'm gonna be
did.
a mad dog.
I could put the bottle in my purse and no one would ever know. But
Why?
then
Because it
everybody
was
knew. It was
it was
tiny.
flat. Okay.
Yeah.
it was like a schnapps, wasn't it?
Um, you know,
I remember it
it's
being
more like a
sweet.
hard wine cooler, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
pre wine coolers. And then they came out with the watered down stuff. And they're like,
And
listen,
then we had fuzzy
sorry, I got the
navel.
mix. As the wine cooler flavor?
That was my favorite, fuzzy navel. Or sex on the beach.
Fuzzy navel. That actually no. I was thinking that was Philadelphia Eddie, one of his favorites too. But I don't think it was, right? His was the screwdriver.
Oh, yeah, those are good too. I used to hide it, vodka in my closet when I was younger because I have five sisters and two brothers, so I had to hide everything.
Right on. Come from a big family?
I do. We're all a bunch of loud Italians who we get together, talk loud, and eat.
That dynamic still holds up then?
Oh, absolutely. My son just graduated Friday, and I had a
Congrats.
graduation thank you party for him, and it was loud and full of food and friends, and you know, made me happy, made him happy. Everything was good.
Is
How's
that
it?
as an
Huh?
Italian, are you more likely? Maybe I'm being racist here, so forgive me. But are you more likely to enjoy something like that? Because sometimes, if I'm thinking about a family gathering, there's a lot of heaviness and weight just in the thought.
No, I love it because we're so spread out. And I mean, my two of my sisters and one of my brother couldn't even make it because one's in Georgia, one's in
Okay.
Michigan, one's in Tennessee. So it's a complete bonus if people can make it. And
Yeah,
then,
even if they're from further away, I still feel a lot of anxiety about that day.
oh yeah, I don't. It's more like, what are we eating? Um,
Right on.
get the Thanksgiving spread at
Are you a cook then?
no. I mean, I really don't like it. And the sicker I get, the more I can't do it. So Roman's quite the chef. I'm not anymore.
Well, we don't have much time anyways, so let me get into some serious shit then, if you don't mind. Um,
I, I don't
you
mind.
you already mentioned it. The sicker you get,
Yep.
we may not be blessed with you in our lives for long enough to take it for granted. Is that a fair way to put it?
Probably yes.
Like we can't really take the time that we have with you for granted because we really don't know. Now, fortunately, them doctors have been wrong several times over, and
Oh,
Angie's a tough motherfucker,
thanks.
right?
I mean, I try to be, it's just getting difficult as of late. Like I had a bunch of testing on Monday. I had surgery yesterday. I've been talking to several doctors today. Things are just getting a bit rough, buddy. I am.
No real good prognosis from the talks with these doctors then.
No, and I've been using, like you see me at the shows, I have that scooter, and at home I have a electric chair. I hate to call it an electric chair, but electric motor chair.
Like
I
a
don't know what the fuck
roundabout
they're
thing,
called.
an Amigo
Yeah,
or something.
it's a really dope chair, actually. It goes fast. I learned this weekend that if I
Is
want
it
to go to,
faster than Troy's, you think? You guys raced?
so this chair at home is not faster than Troy's, but the one at the show could possibly, and I am due to race him sometime. Me and Sharky Steve said we should get jackets, the scooter gang.
Well, since Troy is already pushing the fashion envelope, maybe you guys should just shop at his tailor there and try and coordinate some outfits. Even surprise him. He shows up with the roses, and you're like, "Oh, we all got roses today."
Yep. Hey, look at our Hawaiian shirts.
What is the disease that is doing this?
I have multiple sclerosis. And there's several forms of multiple sclerosis, but unfortunately, I won the suck lottery, and I have a progressive form. And it's called primary progressive MS. And I wasn't doing great for a while, but then I started doing really good. But as Mike tells me often, I don't.
Mike Hill, our friend and tattoo artist that you work with at the shows.
Yes, correct. I didn't want to accept it for a long time because I was doing better, but I want to say October, I was the first one in our county to be diagnosed with influenza B. So yay. So I got the flu, which made me very sick. And then I got the pneumonia flu after, or whatever it's called, the flu pneumonia, I don't know. And then 2 weeks after that, I got COVID. And then I had a kidney infection on top of all of that. So you take all of that and give it all to me. I have
Who's already in a
weakened immune system, and I kept getting sicker, and I unfortunately still am. And unfortunately, Baltimore was quite the struggle for me. And that's one of my favorite, busiest shows, But I mean, honestly, I could hardly hang, and that's not who I am, but apparently it is who I am now.
A busy show usually better for you to keep moving. What do you like about them?
I'm the mouth of the South. I mean, you already know.
Jimmy, the mouth of the South Heart. Are you Angie, the mouth of the South Heart?
I believe I am the mouth of the South Villain Arts.
Nice. I love it. I'll give you that moniker. Well, Jimmy Hart is a sweetheart of a human being too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've met him in an airport, and at least the most gracious and seemingly genuine. Maybe it was just in a moment, but yes, no, man, that guy is awesome. And
cool.
I can't say that there's so much difference in that aspect from the two of you there. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's your job, is you round up the customers and you throw them into Mike, or what's your job there?
Yeah, I talk to everybody literally who walks by the booth, and I wrangle them all in. I always tell them I'm like their pimp.
You tell Mike and the crew there, everybody that you're like the pimp.
Yeah, because I get people in, and then they give them the happy ending. And
the old Robert Kraft.
But I love it. But at the same time, I'm having a hard time doing it at this point. and I guess I wasn't going to bring this up, but we're just
Mhm.
talking. I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot for right now.
I was gonna ask how many shows you thought you might have in you
I
for this year.
listen, in my head, I'm doing everything,
That
but in my body, I'm dealing with several new doctors, unfortunately, lately.
so they're
And
getting to know the case, and there's that, or is or,
yes, they're sending me to specialists, and because my neurologist actually is in Cleveland, because nobody around here really wanted to deal with it because there's so much to it.
and
Yeah,
maybe
we'll
they knew
put
that
it.
guy was better, but that leaves you driving quite a distance.
Yeah, and I don't drive because I can't see. And I mean, I'm not blind, but I
Then.
can't
Right.
see. So, like,
Your eyesight has also been failing. Am I wrong?
yeah, my eyes, my right eye, right eye especially droops a lot. I have, it's called Horner syndrome. I really don't know much about it other than my eyelid droops a lot and I can't hardly see out of it. So that kind of sucks.
Well,
But,
it makes you look like you're winking at people all the time. You're giving them
you
the
know
old
what?
bedroom eyes.
It does. It's like, are you sure you don't want a tattoo here, baby? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Then you
No,
tip
I
your head back a little bit more, have to, because you're looking at the bottom of the opening,
check out my
right?
head tattoo. You know you want one. But, and the thing is about shows is my whole family's there. You and Candy and Shannon and Dale and Cody and on and on and on and on and on. I miss everybody. I mean, I know you guys are all a call away or whatever, but it's different. Because like right now at home, I have my cane and I have my walker, but I've been using my chair more often than not. And I do physical therapy, um, speech therapy, and what's the other one? Occupational therapy. And I always tell them I hate using the scooter. They're like, or the chair. And they're like, yeah, but that's why it's there. I'm really stubborn, which is a problem because I want to go out and do the best I can because I can't work, you know?
So you might
Um,
as well enjoy what you can do.
right. And like Mike and Kay have made it to where I could go to shows and experience new things. And like I was so sad I missed Kansas City because I just really wanted to go to Jack Stacks.
It
you
was
know,
dry.
oh
If
really?
that's any consolation, I know it's no consolation. At least we could have all been bitching about it together. Sometimes that's just,
Exactly.
but yeah, it was really dry. I got it a little bit late, so it was even drier for what I ended up with. But that's just what tattoo artists do, anyways. Eat cold food.
For sure. Well, and Mike and Heather said that their food each night was wrong when they door dashed, and I was like, that blows.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my DoorDash guy ate my chicken from the waffles and chicken that we got just for the chicken, but there was no just chicken, so he got waffles and chicken.
And you ate
And
your
we didn't want to eat a bunch of carbs at night. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And he just kept the chicken for himself. It's probably like that's the only good part.
Oh, what a dick.
Yeah, they gave us a half a refund for it.
I mean, I guess that's fine, but you wanted your chicken that night.
Yeah, we didn't even eat any of it. It just
Oh yeah,
well
I wouldn't either, but you know what I mean? Like, ugh. And see, that's the
stories.
thing.
Mhm.
My throat's bad. So I have a hard time swallowing.
Mhm.
So I have to eat soft foods like I'm a baby.
Are you on protein shake? So when you do get together like you did recently, what were you able to eat everything, or you kind of force yourself into small portions, or what?
Well, I cut up everything small and I have to lubricate everything. So that's how I like to say it anyway. And my
Okay, it's not
therapist,
KY jelly. I can't imagine though. You're using some
oh no.
sauces.
Yeah, I love ranch anyway, so so I usually have that or a gravy. This sounds awesome. Um, Something so I can swallow it better. I have to dip everything. And then because I refuse to get to the point where I have to puree my food, because unfortunately,
Because you're stubborn.
yes, and I have friends who are at that point because I'm on a lot of support groups, and I guess you can call them friends or just random people I've never met in real life.
Well,
I
I'm
could just
guessing
go,
you share deeper parts of yourself, or at least I can't know these things. And so our conversation is limited, right? There's no help I can give. And a lot of people, it's going to make them just want to turn away from even talking about it with you.
I have a lot of friends who I thought were my friends who, after I was diagnosed, was like, bye. I don't
Yeah.
want nothing to do with you. And I'm like, why? Well, because sometimes when I have bad days, I have a really hard time talking. And I've talked to you about when I can't talk, or Candy.
Yep.
And
We
so,
lean in.
yeah, like just please understand my pig Latin. But for instance, at the show in Baltimore, I woke up and my hands were just twitching so bad I couldn't control them. And I was dropping every fucking thing. Like, here's your consent form. Please pick it up off the floor. Like, it was terrible. Here's a pen. You have to pick it up to use it because I literally just dropped it. My bad.
Do people think you're just playing with them?
Uh, Sometimes, and other times they're like, oh, no problem. You're pretty nice and cute. And I'm like, thank you. I'm a princess. No,
A
I try.
multicolored unicorn.
Exactly. Like, but listen, if you can't make fun of yourself, I mean, come on, man.
I feel this so much. I feel like that's the worst part about Twitter, at least. There's a lot of people on there cannot make fun of themselves, or they've gained attention from it. And man, it just drives me crazy. It's like you're not even human if you can't make fun of yourself.
Well, and like it shows, I don't go around being like, oh, have pity for me. I have a disease and I'm dying. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
not what I want. And I think for so long, that's why I didn't try to have AIDS with me. But, it got to the point I needed a walker or a cane. And now I
Right.
got that boss ass scooter. But now it's to the point
You think
where,
it's with your friends that left, do you think it's at all that they simply do not have the emotional wherewithal to stand, to help, to be around? um I feel like sometimes people make illusions about how safe their world is, and to do that, sometimes you have to turn away from things that break that myth, that
so
faith.
I've thought
Mhm.
about that a lot. Like, maybe they just can't handle it. And then I thought, well, fuck you. If you're my
So,
friend,
you're supposed to, you fucking, you little pussy ass bitch.
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm an asshole, okay, when it comes to shit like that. Like, listen, I'm not asking you for anything. I don't
Right.
want anything from you.
Well,
I
you know
just,
what? You are, but it's not too much to ask, in my opinion. I don't mean to disagree with you, but in every relationship, we are kind of asking for an amount of acceptance and
yeah, I
just
guess.
to say, hey, we're humans and stuff. But that is not too much for anybody to ask.
Yeah, and you're
And
right.
you're not asking them to help you down a fucking flight of stairs. In these ways, I bet is what you're meaning there. You're not asking so much that you can't fucking accept me as a human who's going through something, and
Uh,
recognize that I may need some support.
and, and that's really, that's a better way of saying it. I just, and that's what I kind of felt like. I'm not asking you to take me to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Yep.
asking for maybe you to act like you used to when I, you know,
Yeah, when
didn't
we
get
were all cool.
diagnosed. Yeah, like, why can't you come over and, watch Jackass with me and, you know, eat
Mm-hmm.
Oreos? Like, what the fuck's the difference? I just need extra milk. Like, come on, man.
I need more ranch on my Oreo.
Right? Like, I just gotta swallow these. But I just, I don't know. But then, I'll tell you. So, I got to tell you the story. I was at I was living in West Liberty, which is a town a little bit from here, and
You're in Ohio or you're in Indiana?
Ohio.
Okay.
And Mike and Kay and I have been friends for years, and Kay's mom, like we've been friends 20 years or more. I don't remember. I have a broken brain. It's totally fine.
I'm
And
not making you do the math. Go on.
and Mike reached out one day and he goes, you're getting really fat. And I was
Thanks.
like,
I was good to have a friend around.
yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, you're cool, thanks. He's like, now get off your ass and you're going to go to Kentucky with me. And I was like, I'm absolutely not going to do that. So I packed a bag and I went. He
Tattoo
said,
convention.
yes.
Mm.
And I want to see how you do around people and I'm going to tattoo you, yada, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm absolutely not going to do that. I haven't been around people in years. So I went. And it was
Wait, are
just,
you telling me that there was a time that you weren't this beautiful unicorn ready to talk to anybody that walked past you?
oh, I was so shy because I was so uncomfortable with myself because I just don't like myself. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I
And
do, but I have a harder time understanding that for you as I do. I only understand for my own introspection, right? Like I even hate my voice. I can't listen to my wife editing these things.
oh, I don't like myself. And he was like, no, shut the fuck up. You're coming with me. And that's it. And actually, that's where I met Roxy, who's coming from Canada tonight for dinner, just to visit me for one night. Her and Brittany, which I love because they're just coming from Canada just to visit me.
Yes. That's a
And
bit of a trek too. What part of Canada are they in?
Ontario, I believe, it's like 6 hours.
From where you're at?
Yep.
Okay. You're northeastern Ohio then.
Yeah, they'll go through
Okay.
Michigan and
Right. They'll go past us.
yep.
We'll wave.
And I was born in Michigan, so I still have family there.
Oh, how's that feel for the during the football season, right? Because
It,
doesn't Ohio and Michigan have a problem with each other?
it's so funny because I used to, because of who I am, try to cause havoc all the time when they played each other because I really honestly don't care. But even though I was
But it's
born
fun
in
to
Michigan,
expose the other people's worry,
man,
their
listen,
fears with it. Yeah.
yeah, so I wore Michigan stuff all the time just to
Oh,
piss people off. It was
right.
awesome.
Well,
But
it
then I
didn't
went to,
matter though, because Michigan was still pissing in your guys' river, all your drinking water.
right.
Either way,
Well,
you guys were down south of Michigan.
then when I was in Michigan, I would bring Ohio State stuff just to piss people. Like it was just fun for me. But
Terrible, terrible. One
so
of
I
those
went.
hooligans, huh?
Oh yes, I needed some sort of fun in my life. So
Which the show obviously probably replaced, huh?
man, I had the best time, and it was funny because that was, I think, one of the first times I met Amanda, and she yelled at me, and now we're like best friends. But so we went to
Amanda,
Wiles. um,
yes.
but we went to the show, and he's like, "You're cool." He's like, "But you're fat and you don't do anything." And I didn't. I just laid around the house smoking cigarettes, depressed. He's like, "Okay, so you ready to come to the shop?" And I was like, "Nope." So I went the next day.
To the shop.
Yeah. And he said, "I'm not telling anybody who you are." And he didn't tell anybody who I was at the show either. That he's Roman's godfather and we're best friends.
Roman who? You're
Oh, Roman's my son. Yes, I'm sorry.
okay. I just
And
got to set it up for the people at home as well.
yeah, I apologize. And I'm just yapping.
No, you're perfect.
So,
So Mike is Roman's godfather.
yeah, and Kay's Roman's godmother.
And so he wouldn't even vouch for you at these shows, though. He's like, no, I don't know that bitch.
We didn't want the crew to know at the time.
Oh, the people you were all working with.
Yeah, because he's like, you can't work a job, so why don't you just volunteer at the shop, do shit for me, yada yada. And I was like, all right, cool. I don't want to do it. So I did, of course. And I went in the one day And this girl, I guess, called Mike and said, I don't know who this bitch is, but she won't last 2 weeks. And they were there were some of the people, because they're just used to working with each other, and a lot of these people are gone now. They were just not very nice. And mind you, this is the first time that I'm really around humans in 3 or 4 years.
These new they're being bitches to you.
Yeah, because I was new and, I was shy. And well, anyway, I told
Did they
Mike,
think that you wanted their jobs? You weren't a tattoo
yes,
artist.
no, but I was going to run the store.
Oh,
Because
that's a threat to anybody. Maybe they were stealing shit. Huh?
Well, because Mike couldn't be there all the time. There wasn't 100% authority all the time. I mean, there's cameras, cake him and all the time, but they're pretty much doing their thing. And
yeah, there's ways around all those things too. But when you have a human there watching people.
And I called Mike and I was like, listen, I said, I'm not doing this. I don't need to do this. If people are going to be mean to me. And again, they didn't know who the fuck I was. I said, if people are going to be mean, I don't have to go in, Yeah. And so the next day, in front of God and everybody, he walks in and he takes keys from, I forget who, she's not there anymore. And hands them to
that was
me.
the last day, I'm guessing, huh? No, he still tried to keep her on?
She was going to go somewhere anyway, like she was pregnant or whatever. But he walked in and took her keys and handed me the keys. And they said, this is Ann. She's my best friend. And she's going to be the manager now. Anybody got a problem with it? And you should have seen the girl who said I wasn't going to last 2 weeks. Her jaw dropped to hell and back. It was hilarious. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's me. And then, I have friends.
Well, now you got to rise into your part. How did you respond? You see everybody's face.
And all I said was, thanks, buddy.
You didn't gloatingly look at anybody.
Oh, I absolutely did. That's why I said,
okay. I imagine they all thought you did, even if you didn't. It was way worse even than in their imagination.
It was more like, and I guess I shouldn't say they were mean to me. They were more like, it was like a high school clique. They just were like whispering in front of me type thing. Like, why is this bitch here?
Right.
Nobody wants this bitch here. We like our little family the way it is. And Mike always said, we're a fast moving locomotive. You can either hold on or drop off. And those people dropped off. You either have to roll with the changes or you don't, man. I mean, the business.
Yeah. Did it suffer your business when they dropped off?
No. No.
Train just lost some weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Picked up speed.
The saying, the trash takes out of itself.
Wait, no, I don't know the saying. What is it? The crash does what?
The trash will take out itself.
Oh, I love that saying. I'm going to use that a lot. I don't know if it's going to work. I think my garage is going to be pretty stinky.
I get a nickel. I get a nickel every time. No, I'm just kidding. But
I'll probably owe you weekly then. You can't even say, hey, Kyle, the trash. I was like, here's what I know about the trash, babe.
It'll take out itself.
Yeah, I'll just mail a nickel to you right away. Be like, I need a 32-cent stamp. How much are stamps now? Yeah, I didn't mail you a straight up physical nickel. A nickel, as I understand it, is also worth less than I'm probably way wrong about this, but I understood the nickel to be worth less than the material it takes to make a nickel.
I'm probably certain you're correct. That's hilarious.
It's probably I swear it's probably bullshit now. I got to be making this up. Somewhere in my brain, I'm like, nah, this is too good.
I mean, somebody in my brain, it sounds genius to me, but you don't want to really count on me.
Let's live in your brain then. That's where I'm at. And I'd rather live in the lie.
It's, great, but I don't know, I was thinking about it the other day. Like my long-term memory, awesome. My short-term memory, however, is getting so bad. And it's not one of those, oh, you walked in the kitchen and you forgot what you were doing. It was
Mhm.
somebody said something to me. Oh, so for like Roman's graduation party, I guess I had asked my sister, what are your plans for tomorrow? Or where's the boys? Or I don't know what it was. And I said, I probably already asked you that. She's like, yeah, you asked me yesterday and the day before, and started laughing. And I was like, oh, my bad. Because I forget. And then I get pissed
Right.
off because I
Well, are
forget.
you
And
forgetting to pay attention to what they return for your question, or are you
no, because then
just
we had a whole conversation about it.
right that you participated in?
Yeah. But the only good thing is now I'm watching different series that I remember watching, but don't remember what happened.
Right.
No,
It's all brand new, huh? You're like,
everything.
Stranger Things is actually really good.
Yeah. Like it's rough for me right now
Have you gone
because
back and watched The Tiger King more than once then?
I've never seen it the first time. It never sounded
No, no,
interesting to me.
no, come on. Everybody did that. There was COVID. How did you not watch The Tiger King?
So during COVID, Roman and I played a lot of cards,
Uh-huh.
and I actually all the calls for the shop are forwarded to my phone. So I
Okay.
answered all the shop calls. I'll tell you what was hilarious. When we got the first stimulus check,
Well, I'll
the
tell you. How
phone
about
rang
that? You tell
off.
me, and I'll tell you if it's hilarious.
The
I'm
phone
sorry.
rang
I'm being
off
dick.
I mean, listen, have I been wrong yet?
Mm.
I
So
love
phone's ringing
talking
off the
with
hook.
you. And people are like, what do you want me to do with this money? Why can't I get a tattoo? And I'm like, maybe save your money. And well, won't you open the shop just for one day? No, no, we will not do that. Sorry about it.
Were you
Like,
guys shut down by a mandate in Ohio?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Like we
People
couldn't
were pissed,
open.
but how long were you out for?
I think it ended up being like 36 days, maybe.
Okay. Nothing
Because,
happy, but
no, and I'm in charge of paying attention to that. And even though I'm not in the shop physically, I haven't been really since April of last year. Um, I still do paperwork and I write checks and do stuff like that.
you say you
Um,
guys got cameras there?
oh yeah, and
Are you
my
like are you like Scarface? Just watching your empire
you,
from your
you
room
know
at home?
it's so funny because you can talk through the cameras, and like if the shop's closed and there's people in there, especially if they're tattooing people I know, I'm like, I'm watching you. And it scares the client. It's pretty
Yes,
funny.
it does. I see everything you're
And I'm
doing.
like, why are you still in the lobby? We're closed. It's
The world we're coming to, but it's fun,
just,
huh?
listen, I get
Mark
very
Zuckerberg
bored.
has all those videos. You think? I think he's
Uh,
watching them.
listen, I think that I don't think about hardly any of that. I think of, I'm just, I'm trying not to think of mortality. All right.
Well,
But then
well,
I
think of this
do.
with me then. Think of this metaverse world that this Mark Zuckerberg thinks he's going to suck everybody in through a portal, right?
Yeah.
But he has supercomputers, right? Like computers beyond computers. Like you got a computer and it's really good, and then there's a person that can have the best computer you can buy, and then there's the person that can have the best computer that you can build, and then there's the computer that Mark Zuckerberg can have built for him, like a Batman car kind of style computer that can just do crazy computer ass shit, right? Because he's a fucking billionaire. Now, what if like we are at home and we're watching the secret lives of Khloe Kardashian and shit, or of whatever reality person it is the world seems to be enamored by today? Whoever can keep themselves inside of that fucking matrix of bullshit. We're just watching them intently and we're hanging on to their words and we're buying the fucking commercials in between the breaks. But what if Mark Zuckerberg has the same similar needs as any human to somehow do that? But instead, he watches us. Like he's just got some people he just randomly picked to see if they're interested, and he just follows their life. And through all the phones and stuff, that, like through this hey Mark, what's up, man? Like through this conversation right now, like maybe he keywords Mark Zuckerberg, and then just saying, It's possible. It's possible.
What's up,
He's like
dude?
watching you through your TV, your fan, your whole thing. And he's like, and he's not like trying to fuck with you. He's just interested. He's like wondering about your dramas, you know?
Right. Maybe he should do a reality show.
Well, that's what we are all doing it. Life is a stage, right? Shakespeare said. So,
Oh, you're
so
very
maybe it's a
meta-
stage for Zuckerberg and his twisted, you know, fucking desire to watch banal people's lives.
and Elon Musk.
I think the same thing, yes, because Elon probably made the fucking computer.
Yeah, well, that's
You
what
know?
I was thinking. Like, hey, bro, let me know if you find anything good. We'll share files.
Have you stay current on topics? You stay like up to things on the Elons and the Kardashians and stuff, the
Nope,
Kanye's? No.
I don't give a shit, really. I don't care about any of that. Like, if it pops up, I read the gossip and junk like that. But, and you know, that's what I've been doing too. So last Tuesday, I had an appointment with one of my specialists, and she was so angry that I went to Baltimore because my body doesn't recuperate very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell off my scooter at loadout.
Yes, I recall talking with you about that, I believe. Wait, no, I thought it was at load in. It was at load out.
Yeah, and
Then I'm not familiar with it. Then I know that you weren't feeling good that whole weekend.
no, well,
I thought you came with a fresh injury too.
no, I didn't come with a fresh injury, but during loadout, I fell off my scooter, and so I wasn't feeling very awesome. And she's like, "You can't keep doing this. I would appreciate it if you would stop." And I was
But
like,
there's
for a little while.
also a need for you to have that connection with people, right? You say this is your family on the road. We feel
Well,
like you're our family. So it is hard for you then to get that, I'm guessing, without
yes,
being at the shows.
yeah, because I have a lot of acquaintances around here, but I don't like. I'm not a hugger, but at shows, I just want to
Yeah,
love
you are.
everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you think you're going to take anything that you learned? Because honestly, you've probably also learned that there's almost no difference between the people on the road and the people at home.
Oh yes, there is.
There is. They already have you. I
Yeah.
think most people have a preconceived notion that they're being judged by everybody else. And so if they see somebody as awesome as yourself, sometimes what they think is this person's judging me harshly. And you look at them and you're oftentimes thinking the same thing. And in that, though, you look at their face, and their face has that look of fear of judgment. But the look of fear of judgment is also the look of judgment. So it compounds that feeling. Sometimes it just with a smile, right?
Well, and you know, it's so like I brought cookies and popcorn to the landlord today because we had a bunch left, and she wanted to come to Roman's party but couldn't make it. And so I was like, "You couldn't come to the party, so I brought the party to you." And she was very pleased with that.
Yeah.
And we were talking about different things going on. And she said, the floor I live on, she loves because we never have any problems. The guy who lives across from me, he's silent as can be. He's a younger kid who he lives alone. So when I cook,
White kid?
yeah.
Is he old enough to buy an AR?
I don't think so.
It sounds like that sounds like some of the profiles. No, that guy's completely silent. Never a problem.
Yeah. You're a Columbine kid.
Yeah.
But
does he look completely normal? It could be a problem. Go get his ear pierced or something for him. Tell him to wear some mascara. I don't know.
He just, likes weed. So
okay. Right on.
But
You know, you can almost say that, and then you're like, oh yeah, he's too lazy to get up and fucking grab. He bought the AR, but he's already using it as a bomb.
right, you know, and he's young, and so like when I cook, I I have the mom in me all the time, and I cook extra just for him because he lives alone and makes a lot of microwave meals, and that makes me
Right.
sad. So I cook for him, and
You
he's
say
just so
you didn't cook?
grateful. Listen, I cook sometimes if okay, so my dad is my home health aide actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to aid um, a lot. Every day I can have an aide in here helping me do
So
stuff.
they can help you with the cooking?
Yes.
I
And
follow.
because my hands don't work as well, especially if I'm twitching and having a knife, it's just not good. Um, I mean, I have
But it
a
seems even,
special.
a flower could be a problem in a twitching hand.
Yes, everything. Well, everything's a problem in my twitching hand.
Maybe not some things, girl.
It's just crazy. But I was going to say, so yeah, the kid's super nice. And um, then my neighbor next to me, her son just graduated with Roman.
Awesome. And
So be
then this
quiet.
is all though being set up, I imagine, to contrast your floor with the lower floor or else the upper floor where things are
Yeah.
not the same.
Oh, listen, I got the only, I haven't seen any other ones. Well, it has to be. I got the only handicap accessible apartment in this breezeway.
So that means you're on a lower level too, generally.
Yep.
You
And I'm
got
the
you
first.
got a family of cloggers upstairs.
You know what?
Take tap at night. Mm-hmm.
This place is built so well. I can't even hear the baby cry. They just have a newborn.
Oh wow.
But within the first, I was at the hospital one time. I go often, unfortunately. And I waited 2 hours to get into the room. I got into the room and Roman's calling and calling, and I didn't answer it. And he called my dad because, of course, he was with me. And there was a flood. It was raining in our apartment. The people's upstairs, their washer overflowed, and the water came through the lights and the smoke alarms. Luckily, my son is a good boy, right? So he cleaned it all up. And the guy from upstairs came down and helped him clean it up. But I was like, are you fucking with me right now? I waited 3 hours to get into here, and you call as soon as the doctor walks in. But it was a mess.
Did you? What I mean, what are you going to do though? You're not going to go back there and start bailing out water, are you? This is a job for other people.
Well, so Roman had to clean up what he could because it was literally an inch of water in the hallway, and he didn't
Were
want
they
me
at
to
home
fall.
at least that they were able to shut the washer off?
Yeah, they were in the other room because the regular apartments, they have carpet, and my apartment has no carpet because of the wheelchair and stuff.
Okay.
And they came out of their game room or whatever, and it was like,
Walking on wet carpet.
yeah. And they were like, oh no. So he came down right
I've done
away.
that before. Yeah, I've done that. My wife did that. She loves she likes to fill up the bathtub big enough. She's a little girl, so she can swim around in it. She thinks she's like
she's a mermaid.
Remember the show Mermaid? Wasn't with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah?
Yes.
She when she was a kid, she put salt in the bath so that she could see if she would, and was pretty sound. Anyways,
Candy's awesome.
Candy likes filling it. And one time she's filling up, forgot. Luckily, we had both stories, so it was more condo or a 2-story apartment kind of thing, townhouse. I don't know what you call it. So we had to do a lot of cosmetic.
Right. The people that owned this place prior, they sent their maintenance man, and oh, terrible. So somebody else owns this now, and there's a new company. And once they get a maintenance person in here, they're going to come. I mean, it's cleaned up, but there's still smoke alarm just hanging from the ceiling in the laundry room. And I'm like, that's dope. Can we please fix it? So the manager had come in and took note of everything, and he sucked at like
New manager.
trying to the maintenance guy. He did a horrible job trying to fix the walls and he sanded it and painted over it, and it looks like something I did with my shaky hands. Like, if you wanted it to look like garbage, I could have done it myself.
Well, makes you wonder about the hiring.
Well, they don't work here anymore.
Okay.
Like the
I see a
whole
lot of
company.
property managing that is suspect. You know, you're like, is this
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
qualified? Or he's just somebody that you know from the bar, you know?
Oh, well, and that's the thing was funny is the guy was cool, but he was stoned, and I have no judgment. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But if you can't function, then you got a problem. If you can't do your job while you're high, then don't get high while you're working.
Right.
You know?
Go do a job that you can, like selling tattoos to somebody.
Yeah, well, you know, shut up. And it worked. I was very happy. You made me lose my train of thought. That was funny.
That's my job. Straight to the point, completely off topic.
Well, and I'll tell you.
How are we going to get there if I don't keep, misdirection?
That's my whole life.
Well, we were talking about friends at one point too, and I kind of want to. I'm kind of curious with the friends that left. They left you feeling depleted a bit. You get out on the road. You find a whole new reason to live for the most part. I don't think it's much different. I'm going to try and maybe breathe. I'm going to over exaggerate maybe, but I'm not. I don't feel wrong, right? Like, because now you also have a job that you didn't have before you even went on the trip, but you start making friends. My guess is you have more friends, more close friends, and people that care about you as an individual, and they already know about your disease, and that you have more of those than you ever lost. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong. And not one person, not one within Bill and Arts, like, had ever said, "Oh, you have MS, you can't hang out with us."
No. But I think I did challenge you to a foot race a couple of times.
Listen, and I beat you every time. So take note.
Okay.
And everybody, I've never felt so accepted. Maybe that's the correct wordage I want.
I think it is.
Before,
as humans, isn't that the number one thing we're looking for almost? And
I never thought I'd make friends and people who come to me. And because here's the thing, it's not about just accepting me for who I am. It's having, I'll use Candy for an example. Mm-hmm. If she needs anything, she could always call me up. And I think she knows that. And
I think I know what you're saying here is that you are also, it's not so much about, acceptance is important, of course, but to truly see that you are also valued, right? That's beyond that. And you are valued by people. We come to you and to seek your opinion, to get a laugh out of the day, to share a moment. Right. Just to say, hey, how you doing? And here's the thing with people, before they wanted to focus on my disease, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, but fuck your disease. It's a dick. Yeah, it definitely ain't you. I laugh at myself all the time because I'm like, I have a giant 18-inch penis. What? Yeah, it's true. Well, my bladder doesn't work. This show just got much more interesting. That's because you're pushing John Holmes. You don't even know my life. Yeah,
That's
you're
what I
like,
should do an
no.
OnlyFans with.
So what
But
is this thing? What are you talking about? You have a catheter? Is that what I'm
yeah,
understanding? Okay.
boy, I'm see, and I have no filter, but I don't really care either. Um, so my bladder stopped working.
Oh
Um,
yay. Fucking
some random, I was
pissed at that
living
bladder.
in
Mhm.
Marysville, and one day I was like, I haven't peed in like 3 days because I felt all this pressure.
Uh-huh. That's a problem
And
for sure.
yeah, and my nurse came and she's like, why are you not at the hospital? I was like, because
Yeah.
I just
Because you turn
remembered I hadn't
sepsis,
peed.
right? Am I wrong? You can,
Oh yeah, you could die from it.
yes, real quick. Like it go into renal failure. Isn't that it?
Yeah. And I went to the hospital and they're like, oh my God. I was like, what? And they're like, your bladder almost burst. I was like, oh, that would have sucked. So, and that's the thing too. I'm just so nonchalant about things anymore because I'm like, and my doctors always say, if it might happen or it's going to happen, it happens to Ange. So they
Well,
had a rate.
don't, let's stop saying, fuck that shit. If anything I've learned about manifestation, it's that we got to say the good shit. So I'm still focusing on the fact that we've had more time with you than we thought. And although you might need a break, I'm looking to more time with you in the future too.
Oh, that's
You
my
know,
plan.
yeah, let's keep fighting. Fuck that. If it happens to Ange, how's my doctor going to start being pessimistic? Listen, motherfucker, you get paid for a lot of your expertise. I get
They
it,
weren't
but you
being
also get
rude. It
paid for
just
your
happened.
goddamn faith. Give me some faith in your ability. Why they got to start preparing themselves for a possible bad outcome?
Well, I don't know, maybe, man, I want to say maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. Um, they took the whole crew to New Orleans and I couldn't go because I was in the hospital. And then a couple years ago, Mike took a couple girls to, I think it was an APP thing in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the hospital because of my heart.
Couldn't go again.
And yeah,
What was your heart
but
doing?
well, apparently I had brachycardia or whatever the hell it's called, and it doesn't beat fast. That's why I'm always cold too. Like it beats 30 beats a minute or something.
If I'm familiar with blood, maybe I'm way wrong. How many beats should it have in a minute?
I guess normally it should be 60 or above.
Okay.
So when I stay in the hospital, I call it
Like
the
60 super is even kind of low, isn't it?
yes.
I'm probably
It,
seeming stupid, but I feel like isn't the blood pressure based on something like that? And it's supposed to be like 80 over 120. So I would think that you would have
yeah, and
80.
when you're exercising, you
Mhm.
would have like 100 or more beats a minute. But
Yeah.
to be not worrying about anything, 50 is good, but
30 is
low.
a problem.
Yeah. So I don't
Okay.
call it a floor, I call it a ward. So I
You
was
got
walking
ice in your
around
veins,
the
is what
ward.
you're saying. You're like Judge
Yeah.
Dredd.
Yep, exactly. And so I was walking around the ward at the hospital and I heard all these beepings and lights and going off outside my room and beeping in my room because I was being monitored. And they all run in my room and I walked up behind them. I was like, what are y'all doing? They're like, you need to get in bed right now. And I was like, why? And my heart rate dropped to like 25. But I was up walking around. They're like, I don't know how you're up walking around. I'm like, with my legs. So when I got in bed, those paddles that they use to revive
Defibrillators?
people? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now they have these, I don't know if it's now, but whatever. They put this sticker on my heart that they
Yeah.
can just,
Turn on and
like,
off anytime they want.
well, yeah, well, they can just attach me to something and they can put my heart back in rhythm.
Yeah, it gives you a little jump start.
Yeah. So I remember calling, I don't know who it was, but somebody, one of the people in Vegas. And I was like, I just want to let you know I'm going to die. They have this on my heart And I was so upset. And obviously now I say, but did I die?
No.
You know, I've almost died several times. My kidneys failed one time. They were at 4%, and I had to go to emergency dialysis.
Do you still have to do dialysis as a result then, or?
No, my kidneys bounced back. However, I do have a nephrologist on my team, I guess you could say, if I were to need him, which I may, because the medicine they gave me for my MS currently has caused chronic UTIs.
Oh, fine.
So, yeah. So
Well, and that's also a problem of a catheter, though, too, right?
yes.
So these things might be in teamwork.
That was the point of what I was going to say. Damn it! I'm glad you said that. Is so they put in, like, everyone knows what a catheter is, but they had to come to my house and change it like every couple days or a week or whatever.
We got to talk about this.
No, we're not, because you know what we're doing?
No, it already hurts.
Offered. No, it did hurt, but then he said, well, since you need a permanent one, if you want to get it changed all the time, you can, or I can put a permanent one in you. And I was like, let's do it. Because
I'm into body modification.
Yeah, like what at the time I wasn't. I was just tired of being hurt, and then he tried to get me to do it myself, and I'm like, I'm not doing it to myself. So now I have an 18-inch penis, and I'm the best road dog you can ever have because I never have to stop to pee, only if my bag gets full.
Right.
And, you know,
can you strap on a bigger one, like a 50-gallon, just a purse over your
that
shoulder?
would
or something?
be hilarious, but no.
Don't make it clear. Whatever you do, plaid or something. Just
I wish. Wouldn't that be funny? I used to have
make it Louis Vuitton.
Oh yeah. Can I have a Gucci catheter this week?
You would look. You wouldn't. You would almost want to fill it up because it's gonna at least half. So it looks like the actual bag. It won't be fashionable unless you have at least half full.
See, my grandma actually, God love her, before she died, she crocheted me a bag because I have ones I can hide. But if I need to wear my larger one out in public, she crocheted me a bag to cover
So you
it.
do have different size. You can be prepared for longer stowaway trips.
Well, you see me all the time at shows and you don't know I have a bag on.
No, because I wouldn't go anywhere near you. I'm kidding.
Well, now,
God,
now you'll never hug me again.
Done. Yeah.
Are you peeing right now?
No, it's so nice, actually. You don't have to wash. Like, I don't have to worry if, like, I do this a lot because especially being a guy, I wash my hands in the bathroom, of course, right? And I'm just an idiot, whatever. But I don't use the hair dryer thing because I hear that puts more poop on your hand than not. So I kind of just shake them air dry. I elbow my way out of the doorway. You know what I mean? If I can't get any paper towel to open it. Anyways, but during this whole elaborate process that I have to go through, after touching anything that might have been in a bathroom or even being in that area to feel clean, I then go and shake people's hands. I hug people, but I remember all the people that walked past me not doing that, not washing and not worrying about the many different surfaces that they're, communicably touching. So when I hug people, I have to forget about that, right? Yeah. And when I shake their hands, I forget about that. When I do that for you, I know that it was not a problem. You haven't been in the bathroom today, but you know what I mean? The last time you were in there, you washed up just fine because you go through this process and now everything's sealed and clean, tucked away. Probably what I'm saying is really everybody should have a catheter.
It's funny because,
I could have an 18-inch penis too, I guess, huh?
You know what? Yes. And you could probably do an OnlyFans. Kyle Dunbar, 18-inch penis. People would buy it and not even look at it. They would just be like, This ink master has a giant penis. What do you think, James Vaughn?
Imagine they'd look at it. They might be let down at one point. What do you think, James Vaughn? James. Another
I
one
miss
we don't get
him.
to see. A lot of us are, and I'm talking to a lot of, a lot of us are kind of slowing down on the road. And
Oh yeah, Mike. He actually decided not to go to Houston. Like
yeah,
he's like, I'm tired, man.
tickets are crazy there too. They wanted $1,500
What?
for plane
Jesus.
for me and Candy. Not for one ticket, but
Right, but
still, that's a
still.
lot.
Well,
Just
he
couldn't.
drives everywhere,
Well, that's a
and
3-day drive. Well,
yeah, and
two
forever.
and a
And
half at
Oklahoma's
least.
the following week, so he just had to stay gone. Can't
Right.
drive to Texas, back to Ohio, back to
Nope.
Oklahoma. That'd be silly.
You do Texas and then you do Oklahoma and then you come back home and you hope your fish and cat's still alive.
And then the week after that, Charlotte.
All the way out to the other coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna see. Are you guys doing Charlotte then?
Yeah. Well, I'm not, but yes, I
Right
that's
on.
what I was doing
Taking some time
today.
off still.
Yeah. Well, I have to go get some MRIs, some brain and spine MRIs that week. Because like I said, they need updated stuff because I'm falling now. And
Well, what are there could be good news to come from this then, right? Because it could give them
usually
a
I'm
path
very
forward.
optimistic, but
Right,
at
but
this
this could give
point,
them a path forward, right?
oh,
Hopefully.
well, yes. And
Otherwise,
I
why
need,
are we doing this invasive, this thing that you gotta go sit in that tube
well,
for?
that's the thing. I get so frustrated because I haven't been on any MS therapies since last July. And that is really bothering me. Like
Shouldn't
my
you be?
body. Oh, I should absolutely be. But like I said, the medicine I was on
Uh-huh.
was killing me because it would give
Yeah.
me bladder infections, which led to antibiotics, and the antibiotics were making me sick, and it was just a repeat thing, and it was
Over
terrible.
and
But
over, a cycle of it.
yeah,
So there's no other therapies though that they don't figure would do that, or do they think they might find more therapies or possibly drug treatments from this CAT scan
well,
or MRI? I'm sorry.
well, that's what they're thinking. They need an updated MRI, and I have to go. I have to go to Cleveland to get a blood test to make sure I don't have an
Hey,
infection in my brain.
Cleveland rocks.
You know what? I was just
Yeah.
going to say that.
Right on. Well,
But,
there'll be no. They think you might have a blood infection in your brain.
and just an infection in my brain. They don't think I do. It's just they need to make sure I don't have it so they can
Okay.
prescribe something else. But the thing they're prescribing, one
Mm-hmm.
of the side effects is the virus. So I'm like,
What
you're that
virus?
JC virus. I
Jesus
don't know.
Christ virus? Do I know this? I'm not familiar with it.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not
You
very
can walk
familiar
on
with
water with
it.
it. What do you do? Lay hands on
Well,
people, turn fish into loaves, or loaves into
I
a
would
million
just
people's food.
no, I would just put water into make water into wine every day.
Oh, come on. You're selling yourself short. Sugar into cocaine, vitamin pills into methamphetamines. Come on.
That could be my side hustle.
Yeah. Every fungus would have psilocybin.
uh, I don't know. I just have to
That,
get all
did,
these
did we get off topic?
and straight to the point.
Yeah. So, but back to Cleveland. So in Cleveland, they're going to figure out if you have rocks in your
Yeah.
brain. If you have a poison in your brain, and if you don't, they have a treatment that is going to
There's
turn
only
you
two
into
other
Jesus
treatments.
Christ.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know much about the JC virus. I just know that it can lead to PML, which is disease that you die from. Like, it's just sorry you got sick.
So it's actually very serious to make sure that you don't have this because it would compound it.
Correct.
Whew.
It's a lot for me.
Well, it's a lot emotionally even too, right?
So much. And
see, these are the things I think that some people, and obviously they couldn't handle getting this kind of information because they're not strong enough themselves for whatever reasons. And so they run away when their friendship could actually mean so much more. But
And that's why, again, and it sounds terrible, like I love doing the booth or whatever, but I'm so very much alone here. I know I have friends I can call and stuff, and I do appreciate all of them. I just sometimes I feel so very much alone. Like I went on Monday to get a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. I told the doctor, I said, I told him, I said, you can use the same camera, just make sure you go down my throat before you go in my ass. And he laughed so hard. I'm like, no, I'm serious. My doctors love me.
Right on. So you was I guess that isn't DP though. I guess it is some. That was definitely some porno. You don't think they did it at the same time, do you?
Oh, I don't know, but I was put out 2 days in a row, so I'm glad I have pain medicine today.
Wow, you mean you just went through that now?
I went through that on Monday, and then yesterday I had bladder surgery. I have that every 3 months.
A bladder surgery?
Yeah.
Is that repercussions from the one time your bladder almost burst, or is that a?
No. Well, now that I told everyone I have a penis, I can say I have no feeling except for pain because there's my urethra doesn't work, but I can feel like, I guess, contractions, like spasms. So the Botox, I get Botox in my bladder to try to tighten it up.
And
so I'm not in so much pain. Yeah. So I have to have surgery every 3 months to try to help it. And it does.
And that's somehow in a surgical injection or something with the Botox? Or do they have to get it there through surgery?
No, they put me completely out. I'm in anesthesia comes in, talks to me, doctor comes in, talks to me. And they're like, hey, Ange, see you in a couple months. I walk into the hospital like yesterday. I was like, all right, we can start the party now. And they're like, hey, Ange.
Right. You like Norm coming in to cheers?
It is. It's like everybody knows my name.
Do you come in with a one-liner every time? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing doggy bone underwear.
Yeah, usually I say something. I'm pretty comedic. But it sucks a lot. And well, anyway, I had that procedure done and I got some test results in. And apparently, I don't know exactly what it is, but I'll tell you, since we're just being all whatever it's called.
I don't know. People, I hope is what it's being called. You're talking to somebody who's interested in your plight and who cares for you.
It's called, I just looked it up. Gastropathy, reactive gastropathy. It says it's a backward flow of bile from the small intestine to the stomach, which doesn't sound great. Doctors may prescribe a medicine that contains a bile acids and can help heal the stomach lining, or surgery to stop flow of bile into the stomach. So that sounds great. And then I Googled it, right? And it says gastropathy serious? And says gastropathy is a medical term for stomach diseases.
And how do they prepare you for each of these things? Because every single time it's a new thing. I'm hoping that they say, hey, these are our treatments, our plans. This is possibly something that could be left over from the antibodies or the many treatments that you've had, I'm betting.
Yeah, and it says if you have stomach problems, see your doctor, which I have. So I don't know.
They got you drinking. Do they address your diet at all?
No, they did test me for what's that called, celiac, but I don't have that.
Right. I just wonder if there aren't things that you should be eating if you could. I know
So me and my doctor talked about that as well, and she said that we're going to wait to see what this test said. So I'm like, all right, whatever you say. Because if it said I had celiac, then we'll talk about the diet that moving
right.
forward. And I just want to
I
feel
imagine
better.
with all the antibiotics they've had to put you on, that your
That's
gut
what I was
biome.
thinking.
What's that?
That's exactly what I was thinking, which,
Yeah, we got to address that somehow with something.
which I was on all the antibiotics because of the damn MS medicine that tried to kill me,
Right.
which I
Well,
need some sort of MS medicine. So
do
the
you
MS
drink
doesn't kill me.
chicory root? Have you heard of this?
No,
You drink coffee at all?
sometimes I used to drink it all the
Right on.
time, but
Cafe Du Monde is a brand of coffee that has chicory root in it.
you may have to
But you
text
can
me
order
that.
chicory root cheaper on Amazon. And I put it in my coffee all the time because you mix it half and half with coffee for the most part. And it's a
You may have to
prebiotic.
tell Candy to text me that name because I will not remember.
I'll get it to you. Absolutely. And you almost don't even want, you just order it on Amazon. But I would wonder though, if the doctors, or at least a nutritionalist, are you working with a nutritionalist?
No, and actually me and the one person in Cleveland, the physician assistant or whomever it is,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about it the one time. And see, I'm looking for a closer neurologist because
Right.
dealing with Cleveland is so hard. It's always through messages, and I can't just call for a visit that day because it's a 3-hour damn drive.
Right.
So I'm trying
Full
my
day
best.
when you put it all together.
Yeah, and I'm really trying my best not to get discouraged. But what do you
Is
do?
there any living arrangements closer to this Cleveland hospital?
I've never
They
looked.
would take you away from your working, but most of your work right now is remote. Am I wrong?
Well, here's the thing. I just moved into this place. It
Right.
pretty much was built, not for me, but it was built for me.
Right.
All the
For
cabinets.
somebody that has a handicap accessible needs.
Yep, I got a walk-in shower. I can will myself to any sink and reach it. If I need my cane, all the cupboards are low. And it's 2 bedrooms, so it's me and Roman and my cat, Mr. Waffle. I love him.
And so this isn't something that you want to uproot in any way. Do you guys have a good support structure around there? I imagine you don't want to move from too.
Yeah, and
what are the chances though that there are going to be anybody offering these neurological treatments nearer to you?
So there's some in Columbus and some in Kenton that I messaged yesterday. So I'm just trying to reach out and see if I can get someone closer. That way, all my doctors are all on the same page because Cleveland is not in the same, whatever you call it, portal as my other doctors.
No, now you're talking some matrix shit. Are you talking about some insurance type stuff?
No, just like on the portal where I do, like I got my results today and stuff. If I had a neurologist here, I could say, you can look at the portal and see this, and this. Can you explain?
But these guys can't share that information.
So they can, but it's like jumping through hoops, and my neurologist is never on top of it. And
Okay.
it's
So it
very
wouldn't hurt to have a
frustrating.
new one anyways.
Yeah. And through all this, I'm just trying not to, I don't know. I'm just trying. Like, it was so hard talking to Mike about me not being able to go to shows. And honestly, I'm so grateful that Roman graduated, because I was so tired of, getting up. It was just a routine for me. I mean, he's
All
18,
the
but
school
making sure,
stuff.
yeah.
Well,
And
that's
then,
the one huge part that I think, I'm guessing that the friends can help the most with, I'm hoping, is those emotional tolls that, that actually take a stress, and they use up our hormones that we have, and our energy that we have for any given task, until we feel like we're hopeless. I hope friends are able to help recharge that. I feel like that's almost one of the greater things that we can do sometimes if we're not there for physical help.
and see, what's terrible is I don't want to call and burden anybody with my problems thoughts too, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
any sense. So I really try to handle things as best as I can. I don't know.
No, I feel, because you don't want it to be a burden. Well, maybe I hope this helps. The greatest thing that we can do in life is help other people. And here's not it. And I don't mean just because blah, blah, blah. That's what I said. It was on the Hallmark card. I mean, because if you want to escape suffering, the only way you can really do that is through helping other people. You can find it in many other fashions, but it's not lasting or nearly as fulfilling. You could even find it in alcohol or drugs. But if you find yourself helping people, you can find a power even over those kinds of alcohol or drug addictions that once held you back. So as you allow people to help you, you can, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel an understanding of a burden that it may be for them, but I do want to free you up from thinking that it's this terrible thing, because you're also giving people the chance to be that, to escape suffering themselves. I don't know, I guess, how to put it, because maybe those things don't equal the same thing to everybody. Maybe they don't see it, but this is a study of Buddhism, at least. And if you want to escape suffering, then you have to, here's my stupid take on it. Then you have to feel that other people also want to help your suffering, help you not suffer.
right.
But to feel that way, you then have to want to help other people not suffer. And when you take part in that, when you take the first initial step to actually doing the active help to help somebody not suffer, now your mind is open to all the help that you receive, and the blessings that you have. And so instead of being consumed by these negative aspects of life, even though we're dealing with possibly one of the biggest and most negative aspects when we talk about life and death situations like this, and the eventuality that we all face of dying alone. But even as we talk about that, we escape that suffering through our help of someone else that needs it. Like helping somebody across the street that doesn't need it is fucking worthless, right?
Yeah.
But helping somebody across the street that does need it gives you a purpose.
I feel it. Because that's what I like to do. I guess I'd rather help somebody than someone help me, if that makes any sense.
Well, you may not be able, we do that throughout our lives, right? And we have to imagine that there's an arc. That's one of the reasons we do it. I mean, as a selfish need almost. Like I'm expressing, this helps me even talking to you about these very serious things and being able to help you have an ease of your conscience on this. That helps me. You follow me? So eventually it's almost self-serving, but in the most symbiotic way.
Right,
And
because I know
throughout
you're
our
asking
lives,
questions
mhm,
because you give a shit, not because you're trying to be nosy.
right? No, yeah, because yes. And also because I want to be any kind of help that I can, because throughout our lives, we start out in this arc of need and then of help, you know what I mean? And then eventually back down to need. And if that is the life cycle or the arc of it, we if we beat ourselves up about that, you know, the very thing that we cannot escape. If I was to allow you to feel too terrible about being a burden to people without letting you recognize that you are also allowing them to escape the many concerns about lives and actually have true meaning to their life, then I wouldn't be participating in that good side of that art, you know? Like
Yes.
we all go down it, and I have to recognize that I'm going to do that. I already know it because you say your mind doesn't work. So I'm getting a fog in my older age of just way too many things, like 2 or 3 things in my hands. I might be okay with that third thing, like trying to get out the door when we're packing up for the tattoo conventions. You know how you get about an hour down the road and you realize you left something important back home? Oh, my tattoo machines.
Forgot my power supply.
Gonna need that. Gonna need that. Yeah, my phone. Wait a second. Where's my phone? Well, that's
And
one
then you
thing we never
realize you're
seem to forget.
talking on it.
Yeah, there is that. I did it. We stopped the car yesterday to find my glasses, and I had set them inside of my backpack. It was on my lap at the time. I was searching through it, but I just couldn't find it, and I had to. I'm losing it. But that's what I'm realizing is my art too. You know, I know that eventually I'm some guy walking down the street without his pants on, going to pick up some creamer for his coffee and not even realize it. You know? There's old man Dunbar, naked down the street again. Go out there and help him get a pair of pants.
See, that'll be me. Like, why doesn't Ange have a shirt on her scooter?
What do you think?
I think that we've agreed on a whole lot. And I've shared a lot that I didn't know I was going to share. But I will tell you that I've learned as well. And you're right. We learn to forgive ourselves for what have you. I mean, it happens. But I will tell you that I've also learned I'm not the shy person, obviously, that I used to be. I mean, we've met in person, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially,
I've only known you as Ange that has been struggling somewhat. Actually, I didn't meet you as that. No one ever told me that. We never, I think maybe it came in conversation, or maybe I heard someone talking that Ange wasn't the best of health, and I might have come up and talked to you about it. I don't think you ever came to me though. And I see that about you. You don't want this burden. You didn't want any meeting with anybody to be encumbered by this stupid fucking disease.
and you know, that's what I was saying. Mike and I were talking about it. I was like, I don't want to bring my cane or anything because I don't want people to know I'm sick. Because you honestly get treated different. Not saying that it's always bad per se,
Right. But
but
it's always different. It makes you feel different.
it does. And I mean, it. Not that I'm ungrateful. Please don't get me wrong. And my doorbell's ringing. I don't
You
care.
can answer.
No, I'm not getting up.
Okay.
Roman's here somewhere. He can answer it or not answer it. I don't know people, so I don't know who'd be knocking on
Okay.
the doorbell. And if it's someone I know, they will just walk in. Like people know that they can just walk in here.
Right. Right.
No,
Don't make me come to the door. God damn it. I'm getting my cane. Are you really going to do this to me?
well, that's why I have my chair, but I just don't like people. I don't know. That's the thing.
Well, that's
When
your
I
whole
go,
thing you're talking about now, is that there must be an interaction or even the sympathy that gets to be a burden. It's almost like you carry the weight of the sympathy, and you would rather, honestly, Angie, that's why I sometimes come up and crack a joke with you, or talk shit to you. I give you a
because
little
it's so
ribbon.
fun.
Yes,
And
I
that's what
know
I
it.
like, because I don't want to be treated differently. And unfortunately, and people do, not because they really think about it, but they do. Does that make any sense?
Yes,
And I
yes.
understand
That's
some of
why I
my
purposely
friends,
point out that I know you're really not feeling that bad today, and that you're just being lazy with your cane.
right? Like, get your ass up, big fatty, and do your job. That's
Now,
like,
ironically, too, that is also how this whole thing started, when Mike did that for you, right?
yes. And, him and I talk, and he's like, I can call you fat, but nobody else can, because
Well,
that's what
Mike
best
has a
friends are
couple
for.
pounds on him, too.
So we joke about that. I'm like, I may be fat, but you're fatter. He said, but no one else could come up in a mean way and be like, hey, fatty, because he'd lay him out.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
family's like that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and that's where I feel protected. And, going places, I do go places sometimes with Kay
Mhm.
because I'm comfortable. She doesn't treat me like I'm crippled. Because I hate that. I had one person tell me
Do-
they
You're
didn't
in.
want,
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Go on.
I was just saying, I had one person tell me that they didn't want to hang out with me anymore because I walk too slow. And I was like,
Wow. What? How old was this person?
same age as I.
Okay, old enough to know far back. Okay, right
That's
on.
what
Well,
I
that
said.
person is going to have a hard time in their arc at the waning moments. I'm imagining the karma that they have built up. Is not.
I was like, you do you, pal. You
Yeah.
know.
See,
And
they're going to be naked walking down the street. At least when I'm walking down the street naked, somebody's going to be like, "Here's a towel, Mister Dunbar. You forgot your pants again. Sorry, man." And they feel compassion. That person's walking down the street naked, and people are pulling out their video cameras.
right.
You know what I mean? It's a
It,
difference.
it was just, and it made me feel terrible. And I was like, well, I know I walk slow, but fuck, I got a bum leg, and it makes you feel horrible inside. And then I got to try to get over it. And my dad's like, just get over it. They're not worth your time. And I'm like, maybe not, but they're just, this was
Don't help.
the beginning of dealing with my disease.
Was a long process then, I imagine, sustaining courage coming down. I mean, obviously it was. We've actually talked about parts. How integral was tattooing? It sounds like it was the most integral part.
I've never tattooed.
No, not I mean, just tattooing. Your involvement with tattooing when Mike got you out of the house. That was the most integral part, right?
It was very frightening to me, but he knew, that I wasn't able to do a lot of things. And, I'm sick, and I, you know, I,
You mentioned that you're also in these support groups with other people of some sorts that you call friends, but that
yeah,
you don't really get to see, but you're in the groups online with, I guess.
people I've never met before
Do
that,
they also feel the weight of people's sympathy for them, as we were talking?
oh yeah. And we talk, it's funny, not funny,
Mhm.
because we bitch because people park in handicap spots, and
Right.
we could have a terrible day and try to go somewhere, but we can't go there. Or we went somewhere and we had to walk like 16 parking spots back because somebody parked in the handicap spot. And people might think that's silly, but it's really not
I
in
don't
our
think anybody really thinks that. I think Most of us think, fuck you to that guy. I mean, if maybe there was 1,000 handicaps open, I you know,
I'm talking about the
I
people
don't
who
know.
park there.
Yeah, I
They
know,
think
but
it's no big deal.
I can't. No, it is like it's a huge deal, right? Like you don't have a lot of benefits in life because of the handicap, and if you want to take this one from somebody in all your ability, then kind of fuck you. I do get, I certainly have an exception out for people who are shopping for people in handicap situations, but at that case, I feel that they should have a handicap placard. But if you are involved in somebody's life who is handicapped, some people really look at that, like an able-bodied person coming out of a handicapped car, and they're like, oh, that fucker. But no, I mean, I guess you can be mad, but you don't know the whole situation. And in many cases, there is somebody who is not necessarily being properly monetarily compensated. You know what I mean? They're aides or family members, but it's not like they're rich from this. And they
My
are
dad,
running errands for somebody who needs their help. And if they can get in and out of the fucking Walmart a little quicker because of it, then cool. My
you know how
opinion.
many people have seen me get out of the car with my cane and say, "You don't look handicapped to me."
Are you fucking shitting me?
And I said, and I
With a
sometimes,
cane.
yeah. And sometimes I say, "Come over here. I'll show you how handicapped I am."
Mm-mm. Listen,
And I wave my cane in the air like I will fuck you up. I get so angry. You want to know my
I'll be
biggest
angry
pet
for you.
peeve though?
What's that?
Is when I have to go to the bathroom and someone's in the handicap stall. I don't mind it if obviously it's a woman taking their kid and using the changing table because
Right.
that's what it's there for.
But
Or,
if all the other ones are still open and they took the big room,
yep.
there's a
And,
lot more necessity for everything that you're doing to have elbow room.
or if there's a long line, right? And somebody comes out of the handicap stall, and I'm there with my walker, like I really
Right.
gotta
And
go.
all these able-bodied people take
Go.
the
Yep.
initiative, and they can beat you too because they can
Yeah.
get there quicker.
Yeah.
You should try to race them and be like, oh fuck, I didn't win that race either. You fucking asshole. I'm sorry.
I know. It's like I can't, because I can't fit in a normal stall with my walker. And I was like, really? You couldn't have waited until I don't know why, but that's what pisses me off. Maybe because I only go to the bathroom like twice a day. And it's like, come
Well,
on.
that maybe that's why. I'm curious if other handicapped people feel a way of the sympathy that they see in other people's eyes. What is the fine line? Because obviously, you shouldn't go up to everybody and treat them like I treat you sometimes. I know you, but what is the line? Like, would they rather people acknowledge them? Like, here's what I see. I'm sorry to talk so much on this. I don't know how to frame this or question right though, but I see handicapped people coming down the aisles. I see handicapped people in my daily life. When I see them, I don't necessarily go out of my way to make eye contact, but I make sure I do not go out of my way a lot of people do this weird body language thing where their shoulders turn and their bodies turn as they're like pass on by, nothing
like
to see
I see
here.
you, but I really don't want to look at you because you're making it awkward. So
There
I'm
we
just
go.
gonna
And now I
move
purposely
along.
try not to do that because I feel like one, I know that everybody can enrich my life in some fashion, even somebody I hate, but so I don't want to sell anybody out, number one. But number two, I know that it's got to be relief of some sort. I mean, it may be off-putting a bit for some people, especially if they're autistic or something, right? But if they're just getting a different treatment, but I don't know. It just seems disgusting to me that because everybody wants acceptance. You can't even get that though if I can't make eye contact.
So with me, if I'm walking with my cane, it's normally not that bad. But if I'm using my walker, sometimes people give me like puppy dog eyes, if that's
Okay.
what I want to use. Like, oh my God. And won't even acknowledge me. They just kind of give me the Puss in Boots eyes.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, for real? I'm walking. But they won't talk to me, you know?
Right on.
But it's like if I'm using my cane. Oh, but okay. So here's an even better one. If I'm using this chair that I'm sitting in right now, then it's like, oh my God, Ange, I'm so sorry. But if I'm riding the scooter, like you've seen, it's like rad scooter, Ange. So it's really quite
It's better,
interesting.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, but I'm saying how
Okay.
people treat you. Like
Right.
if I'm
Depending
on,
on what their determined level of handicap you've reached.
yeah. So the one that I use for shows, which actually I usually just leave over at Mike's house, so it's easier for him to pack. But I'm going to start using it around here because I'm not going to shows for a minute. But anyway, people just think I have a rad handicap scooter. I'm like, because I do, but they don't look at me like I'm sick. But if
Which I'm guessing you'd prefer in most cases.
All the time.
Except where they see you getting out of your handicap zone and they say, you don't look that handicapped to me.
Man, and my dad, he drives me around, and God love him, my sister and my mom, and he has a handicap sticker in his car. And he'll get out of the car sometimes to come in and help me out to the car. And one time, somebody who had moved into the apartments here looked at him and said, "You're definitely not handicapped."
Right.
And he just looked at them and was like, "Excuse me?" And of course, they didn't say anything back.
They don't you don't know what's really going on in this. Now, my wife and I fostered a child for a while, and that child had, he was handicapped. And the fucking shit that you could feel sometimes the eyes, because you're getting a baby out, you got a handicap placard, you're in a handicap spot, right? I'm taking advantage of this spot because life sucks right now, between feeding a kid with a tube, cleaning up all these different things. I'm caring for a child and also a handicapped child, like it was so much work that those few spaces that made it, or knowing that you had yes. And I'm carrying in not just baby stuff, but stuff for a baby with handicap needs, that you have to have. Like if you don't have those things, an emergency may happen and that baby will not, make it.
Well, and that's like when we pack for a show. I have to pack all my medicine, plus I have to pack extra catheter supplies just in case, plus this and this and this and this and this. So I have a giant suitcase, giant or bigger than others. And I have such a big suitcase. I'm like, because I have to have the what if. And it's a pain in the ass.
The oh shit bag or something, huh?
Yeah, but if I don't have these things, I'm going to need it. If I have them, I'm hoping I don't need them.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Oh, it does. We were we had to be prepared for a lot of life and death scenarios of obstructions of airways and of feeding, all these kinds of things. We had my wife, God bless her, is an amazing. I could never have kept any of that stuff together. All I could really do was mean mug any motherfucker looking at us sideways for getting in and out of the handicap with this child until they knew better than to approach us. My involvement wasn't nearly what my wife's was, but that's, I don't know. I guess I still feel when I meet people, handicapped people, that in my eyes, I want to treat them as much like a person and possibly even an asshole if they want to, if they're an asshole, but at least give them the respect. I like not the doe eyes, because I feel like one thing I'm always looking for the chance to share a laugh, because that I think is the most human thing that people can pleasingly do.
And that's
Is a
what you're good
comedian.
at, man.
So if I see him coming down, if there's any joke I can have, even if it's a little bit of a rib sometimes, you know, you got to be careful with the lazy one though. You're just lazy, motherfucker. You get up. But sometimes that one can go sideways depending on
Sometimes
who's all
people
there.
don't like that so much.
You
And like
know
me, I'm just like, go
what
back to your
usually
booth.
happens is the opposite. Like the people around them is a support structure. Like the person themselves will kind of almost get a chuckle out of it, and they'll feel like a little respect, you know, because they know it's coming from a lighthearted spot. You got a smile on your face.
Right.
But then the people around them are like, "Whoa, dude, man!" Like
That's like everyone is around Mike and I, and he's like, "Hey, how about you quit being so fat?" We went to the where did we go? We went to
maybe if you didn't use
Factory.
that cane, you'd be able to walk some of them calories off. You know what I'm saying? Just
Well, he was like, maybe you should order off the Skinnylicious menu, Ange. And I was like, what are you talking about, fatty? And the girls that were with us were like, oh, well, plus he owns the shop, right? So,
right.
and
He signs their paycheck of sorts.
well, I signed the paychecks. That's what's funny. It's his account, but I'm the financial person. But it was funny because he really was saying that because I don't eat a whole lot. So I'd get a huge meal that I'm not going to eat. And he knew I was going to get cheesecake too. But it was like, he can say that. And I know whatever he says, it's not malicious. But if anybody else comes at me, it's not cute.
Well, they're going to do it with the offhanded nicety too. Like you're going to say, I want a Coke. And they'll be like, diet? Like, fuck you.
Right. But like you could do it and certain people could do it. And I'm not thinking you're being a dick, but random people, like I'll punch you in the throat.
Like I'm gonna say, you're gonna get the salad with that. Substitute the salad with that, and salad instead of the fries, right? Salad.
Yeah, okay. You're not eating all those mashed potatoes, are you? You know, like we went somewhere I don't even know, and just like I'll go. We've been out to dinner and with Troy and with Carl, and we always have banter. And I know it's out of love, not hate, and not malicious. And you know, just like with the girls, and you know, and that's why the Villain Arts family is legit my jam, because I never feel like I don't belong. And for a long time, I felt like I didn't belong.
You got a milestone not too long back, too, of some sorts. I feel it's a milestone. John Chuzan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm pretty positive I got it. You did a photo shoot with John Chuzan, who has a play button on YouTube. You thinned up a bit?
Well,
you hit the keto, or was it just a time that the treatment was so much that you couldn't put any weight on?
My treatments were working. See, I heftied up quite a bit because the one doctor put me on the wrong medicine, and I was on steroids every month for 5 days. Intravenous steroids, which is
not what you were supposed to be doing.
No. You're never supposed to do that. And it affected my liver, and it was just all bad. But yes, I did an Atlanta promo, which I absolutely loved so very much.
Congrats.
And it was like the first time in a very, very long time that I felt pretty. And Candy came and did my makeup, and Shannon came and did my hair. And they both helped me try to act like a girl, which was hilarious.
Candy had a lot of fun. Was there coaching then in poses and all this too, or not?
100%. Because I never do stuff like that, because I don't know. Again, I don't like myself. So they made me, it was very much out of the box for me, but I felt I don't know, like love and support. And it was fun and strange. And it was just great.
How glad are you that you did it?
Oh, at first I was very like, oh my God. But now it's like, I don't know if I could ever do that again. So I'm so very thrilled that I did it.
Because it would be scarier the second time through, you mean? Or if you just with everything you already went through, you don't know if you'd be able to muster up you mean from where you're at now, you don't know if you would be able to do that again.
Yeah.
Or you mean it was so hard you couldn't do it?
No, so all his videos are all these beautiful, sexy women. And
A lot of skinny minis.
Yep, let's not get it twisted. I'm quite
A lot of big booties
monkey.
too, I guess.
And I have no shame in my chunky game.
Mm-hmm.
But
the comparison and knowing that some people might be coming there expecting one thing and you're going to give them something maybe they weren't expecting.
And I mean, I'm all about the power of surprise, but I also
he probably got some chubby chasers subscribing to his channel at the very least.
Well, it's funny because we actually talked about it at the last show about doing another promo. And I'm like,
But now you're scared to do it again, or?
I just have zero confidence. So I'm just like, meh.
How was your response? Did you get haters? You didn't get that, did you?
There was some people that didn't like it on YouTube. They just gave the thumbs down, but I didn't see any like,
right.
hate. And I think it was because I was clothed more than anybody else because people were looking for that. But I was, you could tell I was nervous too. And I feel like now I want to do one that's just funny, but I don't know how receptive that
Yeah, I don't know if Chazan's videos have that humor aspect too much. Occasionally he'll let you get in with a laugh or a wink or something,
I mean, I was in one of his like regular show videos. Geo hopped on the back of my scooter, which you can't have that much weight on it. So it really didn't go far.
I was wondering, yeah.
But it was just a funny, it was just funny. But
Angie, I've got I need to call this pretty soon here. So I apologize about having an ending. Usually I like to let these things kind of die out themselves. But I have a question I would ask you before we part. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Invisible.
What? You really? Why? What are you going to do? You're going to be hiding in the bathrooms at the Broncos locker room or something?
Oh, in all seriousness, superpower would be heal.
Would be what? I'm sorry?
Would be the power to heal people.
Oh, fuck. That's a bad one to choose, though, because everything has a big downside to it, right? Every superpower has to have its weakness. So what would the weakness that's your trade-off power be then?
My trade-off power would be to make whoever that cannot be cured to be as comfortable as they could be. Not with all this, not this doctor.
No. The trade-off, it has to be a price that you pay as a superhero for your effort sometimes. You know what I mean? Like there's a downside to it. Like Rogue can absorb Wolverine's power, but she almost kills him to do it.
Okay, so I guess it would be I could have the power to heal, but I would have to use experimental drugs to do it.
Right on. You might grow a tail.
I mean, you might have 7 toes on one foot, but
that cancer's gone. Now you're a unicorn.
Yeah,
you lucky bastard.
I would turn everybody like, listen, I can heal your cancer, but you have to be part of my unicorn tribe. That's perfect.
It wouldn't be so bad. I mean, you can't sleep face down anymore. And you'd have to be careful about maybe you'd want to bed by yourself. You don't want to poke anybody in the eye, but
think about it. You could fly.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, you could poke people in the eye. You know what I mean?
You could have baby unicorns and it would be so cute. And I would be like
not a bad power then.
I'd be the master of the unicorns. And then here's the thing: once you're cured, you can't die.
You just go on forever. Do you have a desire like that to go on forever? I feel like I'm happy that I have an expiration date.
You want to know? I don't feel like I'm not afraid to die. I know I'm Christian. I'm not afraid to die. I know where I'm going when I die. My goal in life is to make sure I give my friends and my family and the world the best of me while I'm alive. So, what's the word? Make an impact on the world before I die.
I think you are. You have on me. How about that? That's what I can only say what I know, right? And you have made an impact on me. I'm blessed to be a part of your life. So, and let's keep that up. As long as keep that in mind too with these fucking negative ass doctors. There's Kyle over your shoulder though. He's not there with you. And he's mean mugging these fuckers. And he's like, I don't think you know the real situation. Okay. We get your pessimistic outlook. We understand it. But we're keeping our heads up, you fucks. Okay?
Right. Like you have to, what is that saying? Like to believe in it, you have to speak on it.
Yes.
And I speak the positivity the best I can.
You mentioned you were a Christian. I stayed away from those topics a bit because of that. But exactly that, then as a Christian, that what we say with our mouth, so we make true in our spirit, our soul, in the environment around us. I don't know. There's too many religions that don't say that.
Oh, so, I pray all the time.
Keep in mind that I'm there with you. Well, you know what I mean? Put if you need any strength from me for telling the doctors to get the fuck off the train fucking of crybaby bullshit, because we look forward to having you in our life longer.
And I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in just a few days. Tomorrow, Friday. What day is it? Wednesday?
I'm not doing Houston. Why? Where am I seeing? Oh, yeah, we're coming up to the show. Yes. I forgot about that. I need to make sure that all the arrangements are there and stuff and check on it, but I can't wait.
Your hotel booked and all ready for you?
I know it's in the calendar, so I'm not, I know that we're prepared. I think I might need to borrow some needles and possibly some ink, depending on what tattoos show up.
Hey, guess what?
I'm ready.
We got you covered.
Look forward to it. Take care, Ange. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, love you, hon. Bye.
Love you. Bye.